Nityanandam, thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video, I'll be addressing a question that I had from a YouTube viewer who is curious to find out what is it that we exactly do here in this Adinam. So what is our routine here as monks or as sannyasis? So this is a question that I'm sure many people have, and it's something that I was even curious to know about before I jumped into this lifestyle. So the basic the basic part of our routine here, the one thing that Swamiji is so insistent on for each and every monk, and not just monk, we have people that live here as Adinavasis. So they have dedicated their lives to Swamiji's vision and mission for humanity. They know that they want to be part of it, but they feel that they don't want to take the 5 vows that we take as monks. They maybe want to get married or have children or be in a relationship, which is also okay. This is also very much acceptable. So they live here, but they are not monks. So the spiritual routine for all of us, for us as monks and also these Adinavasis included together, is a spiritual routine which Swamiji has designed specifically for us living here in Bengaluru Adinam. So basically, we wake up in the morning, we have yoga at 4 a.m. So we used to have just a regular Nityananda yoga session, which would go from 4 a.m. until 5 a.m. And this is traditional yoga, so asanas which have come from the agamas, so they've come from our scriptures. We would do this yoga for 1 hour. Now what we're doing, we are also incorporating rope yoga as a part of our practice. So there's many of us that are practicing getting on the rope and doing, again, traditional asanas, but on this rope. So this is called Kundalini Raju. So we have traditional yoga, and then we have rope yoga for females, and then for males, there's again, they can do traditional yoga, or they can do the pole yoga. So you do traditional asanas on a pole, which is called Shiva Stamba. So a major benefit of this yoga that we have in the morning is obviously integrating the body and the mind as one unit. So yoga is not just practice for this 1 hour, but it gets us into that space of moving with conscious awareness throughout the whole day, moving our body consciously, being in that space where everything we're doing, whether it's eating or walking or whatever it is, the tasks that we have throughout the day, it's integrated. Body and mind is integrated. All our movements are conscious movements. So this is the first thing that we do in the morning. Then after yoga, we have a 1 hour in which we have time to take our bath. We also cleanse our body. So there's certain panchakriyas that we do. Again, these are cleansing techniques for the body, which have come from the agamas. So we do that. Then we have 1 hour of puja. So puja is connecting with the divine. It's our way of offering our gratitude to our master, to our God. So this is done for 1 hour from 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. usually, until 7 a.m. We do this puja. So we have Guru Puja and Shiva Puja, where we're offering our gratitude, we're offering our respects to the divine. It puts us in that space of beautiful Bhava Samadhi. So again, it's another way of creating that space for the remainder of the day, and what space we'll be operating from. Then after we have puja, we have 1 hour, before that, we have kirtans, which is dancing. So usually we do this only for about 15 minutes before we have our morning satsang with Swamiji. So kirtans is just simply dancing. It's dancing, it's allowing your limbs to be free. It's expressing your love for the divine. You're celebrating your connection with the Guru, celebrating your connection with the cosmos through the expression of dance. So we only do this for about 15 minutes, but we make sure that we do it authentically. We make sure that we do it with complete awareness, again, with complete passion in our moves. And the moves, again, come from everything that we do comes from some kind of a scripture. So it's not just random dancing, like chaotic movement. Although people get into a certain space where this might start expressing from them, there's like no right or wrong. But we have dance movements which have come from Shiva himself. So we practice these dance movements. And then once we do our kirtans, then our body is prepared, our space is settled for sitting in a space of complete relaxation for morning satsang. So morning satsang happens every day here at Bengaluru Adinam from 8 a.m. usually until 9 a.m. We have like a 1 hour time slot where Swamiji himself sits and shares some kind of a truth with us. He'll give us some kind of a discourse, which obviously gives us so many cognitive shifts, which guides us, which helps us. Sometimes people ask him questions, or he sees that in the Adinam here, there might be something that collectively people are struggling with. For example, a pattern which has been coming up recently of laziness. So he'll give some kind of a solution, or he'll give us the cognitive breakthrough, or guide us to where it is that we need to address our attention to have a breakthrough, to break from this pattern. So this morning routine, spiritual morning routine, is mandatory. It's something that everyone has to participate in, and it happens every day on a daily basis. With the exception of on a Monday, we have Rudrabhishekam, which is a special, it's a sacred bath that we offer to Lord Sadashiva in the form of a Shiva Linga. And this we do every Monday, seeing as Monday is traditionally known as, in Hinduism, the day that we worship Lord Sadashiva. So as a part of our puja, instead of doing the traditional Guru and Shiva puja, which we also do, we have this Rudra Abhishekam. And then once this spiritual morning routine is finished, usually what happens here is, see, Swamiji's mission is huge. He has temples, he has centers all around the world. He has a massive vision for humanity, of raising human consciousness. He has a vision of seeing so many people expressing the state and the space of Sadashivatva, which is being in an enlightened space. Not just being in an enlightened space, but living from that space and sharing that space and state with as many people in the world as possible. So, I mean, can you imagine having so many enlightened beings on this planet Earth? The amount of healing that will happen collectively for the whole planet itself, the whole cosmos. This is the vision. So there's so many departments that you could take up work in. And when I say work, it's not work as in the traditional sense of the term, having a 9-to-5 job. They're projects that we take up that inspire us. Like, for example, we have a publications department. So Swamiji is very clear on information from the Vedas and anything that he is discovering that he knows will help lives, sharing it freely with the world. So we have, for example, like you could take up helping out in publications where, like we had recently a yoga book, which is free for download on the nityananda.org website, which has all of these traditional asanas, which we practice in the morning. So you can download this book, you can start practicing, you can start learning these asanas, the traditional names of these asanas, and start incorporating this as a part of your daily life, wherever you are in the world. So you could take part in any of these projects where you help find information in the agamas, in the ancient scriptures, and compile it, and then we end up creating these books which we share freely with the world. So like this, there's so many projects which you can take up. So what we're asked to do is take up some projects, and then we expand ourselves in that manner. And see, the funny thing is, you can take up any single project, whether it's, you know, being in publications, or you can even be working here in the kitchen and taking up a project of giving out free food to people, whatever it is that you're doing. The amazing thing of being here in this Ardinam, the way it's been designed and set up, and I've experienced it myself, is no matter what we take up, no matter what project we're immersing ourselves in, there's always a spiritual context to it, in the sense of, for example, I took up a project last year where we had a particular program, and for that program we needed a welcome brochure for people that had a lot of questions about what is the program, frequently asked questions of what do they wear, what will the program entail, what should they bring with them, all of these kinds of things. So I took up this project and I said, okay, let me make it happen. While making this project happen, there would be certain patterns in me which I could see I needed to break. For example, there were days where I would really struggle with some low mood would be there. And I would see, okay, this low mood is presenting itself exactly when I'm dealing with one aspect of the project where I'm feeling overwhelmed, where I'm feeling that I don't know how to execute it. So this low mood would set in, and then I would feel like withdrawing. Instead of making it happen, I would feel like shrinking myself. So these projects, whatever you take up, will show you, hey, you have some kind of a blind spot inside of you which needs attending. By attending to this blind spot, by seeing, okay, this is making me feel a certain way, I need to change my cognition, or I need to break this pattern. It gives you the guide, it gives you the key of where you need to look into yourself for your expansion. So even though, I mean, these projects that we're taking up, they're helpful to the world, and, you know, we're being productive and we're assisting society in some way. Even this, I mean, this is kind of maybe a more superficial thing that I was doing, a welcome brochure. It was just needed at that point in time. But it helped me immensely in seeing where I would get stuck and how I needed to shift my space. So everything we do it from a spiritual context. We do it from the perspective of our expansion in some way, in growing ourselves. It's not like you're, you know, in a 9-to-5 job, you have a target, you have to meet a target, and then you're stuck in the work itself. This is completely different. So this could be whether you're feeding people, working in the kitchen, helping out. There's always a spiritual perspective context to why we do what we do, and how we can shift ourselves. And again, as I have a breakthrough, I'll see that there might be a monk or someone here that is stuck, struggling in a similar way, and then I can then help them with the breakthrough that I've had. Or if I'm stuck in something, they can help me in some way by sharing their perspective on the situation, or sharing their breakthroughs. So it's a community where we're always raising ourselves and helping each other to evolve to the next level while we're on this journey towards enlightenment. And it's literally the fastest track. I've seen how much I've been able to go from living highly unconsciously to being more and more aware of everything that's happening within my inner space, whether it's thoughts or emotions, or just unconscious things that I would do. Like I would have this pattern of unconsciously eating when I would feel emotionally depleted, or feeling like I'm lacking some feeling of security. I would just, before it was a pattern in my life when I was living by myself, where I would just unconsciously eat and eat and eat, and I wasn't even though I knew that it was there, somehow this would get triggered. I didn't know what triggered it. I didn't know how to stop it. Here, it's like you have this spotlight on you and everything comes up to the surface. So it's the fastest way of evolving. And I've experienced it very much so, where Like I said, I've gone from being very, very unconscious to now being a highly conscious being in everything that I'm doing. So it's definitely a life for those that are sincere in not just having a Satsari experience, but really being permanently grounded in the space of living enlightenment, being rooted in that consciousness where you can then share this with the rest of the world. If you're someone that has a similar vision for humanity, if you're someone that is feeling that, yes, I know I'm meant for something greater, then this Adinam, this setting here that we have, is perfect for you. And doors are open for everyone that is a sincere seeker, for everyone that is sincere in being a fully conscious being, radiating that space and then sharing it with the world. We have an intake of people coming in here and becoming Adinavasis and Sannyasis in October. So if you'd like to find out some more information, please feel free to leave a comment and I can definitely get back to you. If you have any further questions to what I've shared, or if you have any comments or whatever, again, please feel free to share and then I'm happy to make another video or I can answer your questions for you. Alrighty, so thank you so much for tuning in. Nityanandam.